Hello, my name is Harmony, and today at Sibling Art Studio, I'm going to show you how to make a kid's bedroom door wall hanging. It's from our new line of fabric called Today's Paper Dolls, and it's from Newcastle Fabrics. There's 4 total, 3 girls and 1 boy, come with their own set of clothes. Each doll can be stuffed, but we really like them for the wall hangings and for a nice children's quilt. Here's one that we're currently working on. Next, we're going to take 2 pieces of fusible fleece cut at approximately 24 by 15, give or take, depending on how big or small you'd like to make yours. And you're going to take your backing, just like this, and you will do a light press to help hold the material in place. When you finish that, you'll grab your next piece of fusible fleece, making sure that the tacky side is against your fabric, and you will do a light press also. Be sure to leave a 3/8 to 1/4 inch space for seams from the sole of her shoe to the top of her hair, as we are going to be doing a quilt as you go, and you'll be using a 1/4 inch seam as you add your sash and border. Next thing you'll do is take the 2 pieces of fusible fleece that you've attached the back to and the front to, and you're going to put them together just like this, and you're going to take your 1.5 inch strips of sashing and align it just to the very end of the material or fabric all the way up and pin it just to hold it in place, and you're going to put a 1.25 inch seam right there, and then after you finish that, you'll just pull out the pins and fold it over. And if you have a little iron ready, you can just do a quick little press so it keeps it nice and flat there and ready for the next piece that you put on. And then you would do the same also with the next side, lining it up with the fabric and doing a quick little pin, just so, and then doing your 1/4 inch seam. After that, you fold over again, give it a little press to hold it, and then make sure you cut off the extra material. Then you'll do the same with the top, laying it with flush, folding, and with the bottom. Next, you'll take your 3.5 inch strips of border, and you will, well, we've already started it here, but the same concept applies. You're going to match it up to the end of the fabric and to the end of your block here. You're going to pin it again, just like we did earlier on the sashing, making sure that you have enough room to make a 1/4 inch stitch all the way down. And when it's done, you'll be able to just iron it over real lightly like that. Make sure you cut off the bottoms before attaching the bottom one. Also make sure to loosen the tension on your sewing machine, as with this fleece it makes it a lot thicker, and basically you're doing the same thing as machine quilting. Next step is to secure the project. You're going to be securing the top and to the back, and of course with the middle. But first, before you do that, you're going to take your back pocket, cut to the size that you need, and like we did, we used our serger to make a nice little top on it, and you're going to secure it down again with the pins, just like so, all the way around. Then after that, you'll take your sewing machine and you will sew all along the borders, and then just trim it down to about 1/8 inch or so, and then you will be ready to put on your binding.
My name's Sherry Marquez, and I am the eldest sister of Sibling Arts. My sisters and I started this business in about 2008, and one of the things that got it started was using paper dolls and vintage paper dolls in fabric. So, on to explain a little better about how I do the binding for these little wall hangings. One of the neat little features of this fabric is that it has extra clothes. With the doll panel, you get 4 dolls, and we mentioned earlier that they each get 1 outfit. So here's how a bit of how that panel will go, and here's her little outfit, and here's this little fellow's outfit. But what we also have is extra clothes, which makes this really fun. And we do these extra clothes a lot like we do the paper doll, the smaller paper doll clothes in this regard. We put steam-a-seam on the back of the fabric because it helps keep that fabric from raveling. We don't want it to ravel. And then instead of using fusible fleece with these dolls, I just use a piece of white muslin or some kind of light scrap of cotton and attach the doll dress or the outfit to that fabric. From there I use tack it over, and I just put it where I want it to secure that doll outfit on the doll, and then they can be changed. I'll show you a little bit later how I take care of that with the dolls and that little pocket in the back, how that'll work. But what you're going to have when you cut out the dolls is you're going to have these little odd pieces of fabric that are, like for instance this little outfit right here, and that got cut off. So I kind of, because I'm a person who doesn't like waste, like a lot of us, I used that fabric and I made my binding from it. And it's nice and colorful, it's dark, it kind of frames the little wall hanging up nicely. But as you can see, here in fact I left one end undone. See these little short, here's like a little short scrap right here. Some are a little bit longer. I cut them 2.5-inch strips, and then of course I attached it, angled it like you would, you know, butting up for your bindings for larger quilts. And that's what I used for the binding for the quilt, the little wall hanging. Okay. So once you get your binding attached on the front and you go to hand sew it, before I hand sew it, I make a little pocket for the dowel, for however you're going to attach it to your door. There's a lot of neat little things that you can find that are little hooks and so forth, but you can, anyhow, any way that you would like to. Maybe you want a little wider dowel holder, you can do that as well. So I finish it and I attach it and I put it in here. So this is your dowel holder. Now that little pocket that we attached, I have now put the binding on. And what I put inside this pocket, this is from those art bins, and a lot of times we don't, I have a bunch of these I don't use. I have the art bins, but I don't use the plastic sheets for separating. So if you have any of these around, or somebody, if you have a piece of plastic, it's kind of thin. As I said before, I use tack it again for the little outfits. And let me show you here. Here's a little sample. I've put this on steam-a-seam, and before I cut the outfit out, I lay it on a piece of muslin and I attach it to the muslin. Then I cut them out, and I always cut the tabs off. You don't need the tabs. And then on the back, I put wherever I'm going to be. There's a little piece. This does not have muslin on it yet, but when you have your fabric on the back, you just put your tacket in all the corners or wherever. Sometimes they say to brush a thin coat on there, and then you just lay it off the side, let it dry. And the neat thing about these is that they'll stick to this, and you can keep all your clothes organized in the back, and your youngster can change their wall hangings clothes. We have some fun little embellishment ideas that we've added. This little girl I'm getting ready to send to a friend who has machine quilting. But these are a couple little embellishment things I added. I used a little tiny blanket stitch, and I put a backpack on there. You can, I made one of these for my daughter, and I actually put a sunshine applique with a little Velcro center, so she can put her current school picture in it, and with her name, you know, Alea's room. And on the little backpack, I used my embroidery machine and I put "Please knock." So you can do a lot of fun little extras around the borders. You've got a nice little framework there to add some things if you'd like, or little sayings. There's a lot of fun things you can do. Be creative. This is just the very simple basics of how to put this together. and how to use these panels in a really fun way. On embellishing, I like to use squiggles, and so I will use like a little dot of crystal always on the little whites of the eyes, on the tips of the shoes to make them shiny. I've added, I've actually sewn on cute bows on the, this little gal here. This was a fun, this is the one I did for my daughter because she's blonde with blue eyes. And I actually sewed, I put little earrings, little gold earrings with a pearl in the center with those Heat Fix embellishments. And she's got her Please Knock. She has a pink, actually there's a pink backpack here. And I put Please Knock on my embroidery machine with that. So it's endless. And if you have any questions or anything like that, you can just email us. And or if you looking for some new ideas, check our website. We try to put new things on all the time and with little ideas. So you'll have fun with this. Thank you. Yes, I'd like to just add that we've been fortunate to have some friends of ours from Robin's Quilt Nest do up some really cute patterns for every line of dolls that we came out with so far. They've come up with a cute pattern idea. And this was one that was from an older doll pattern, but what I did was I just used these large dolls in it. And these are just some little extra feed sack scraps that I added to the little pinwheels. And it's just another idea to use the fabric in a really fun way, because you can still, make the clothes so that they can be used on the doll as a wall hanging and hang it up in a kid's room, or just as it is. It's a lot of fun. You can do a lot of embellishments, put little buttons. I actually did a wall hanging like this for a school raffle, and it turned out really cute. And I just added little button embellishments. The kids in the class put the buttons on. They put little buttons in the pinwheels and learned how to sew a button on. And it was a great way to earn money for the school. So you'll find this works in with a lot of projects that you may be doing, where fundraising and things like that as well. But Robin's Quilt Nest has, I just want to have you check out their website. They're wonderful pattern makers. They do a lot of fun things, and we're real grateful that they've done these for us. So thank you very much.